Welcome to MRU e-learning powered by Malareddy University. I am Dr. Ramya Teja, Assistant Professor in Department of Plant Pathology, School of Agriculture Sciences, Malareddy University. Today, we'll explore how plant disease diagnosis has evolved from microscope to advanced tools like AI and machine learning. Over the next few minutes, I'll take you through the key technologies, their application, and the future of smart agriculture. So today, I will cover here, first, we'll discuss the importance and impact of plant diseases on food security. Then, we'll trace down the evolution of various diagnostic tools that have evolved over time from traditional methods to molecular digital tools. Then finally, we'll explore how machine learning is shaping the future of plant disease diagnosis. Moving on to the importance of plant disease diagnosis in food security and crop protection. So why it is important is, accurate and timely disease diagnosis is essential for effective crop management so that it will allow the farmers to act early, preventing large-scale losses and reducing reliance on chemical pesticides. This is not only to protect the yield but also to promote faster, safer and sustainable farming practices. Ultimately, strong diagnostic systems are a backbone of food security. Let's know what are the estimated crop losses due to disease, India versus global-wide. Plant disease account for significant crop losses every year. As you can see here, this green bar indicates India. In India, losses can reach up to double-digit percentages in key crops like cereals, fruits, and millions of tons of food production annually is being lost. This highlights the urgent need for advanced diagnostic tools that can identify and control the pathogens early. I'll take you to the journey of microscopes to machine learning. The journey began with the microscopes in the era 1600 to 1800s, it's culture-based diagnosis. Later moving on to the serological in 1900s, then came the molecular tools in the 2000s. Now, and also then moving on to the genomics and next generation sequencing up till 2015. Then came the hero, the machine learning, and which has transformed how we detect plant pathogens. Today, I'll take you through this evolution, starting from traditional tools and leading up to the most advanced AI-based techniques. Starting with the traditional diagnostic tools, traditionally diagnosis relied on visual symptoms and microscopic observation of the pathogens. Scientists would isolate and culture organisms to identify them based on the morphology. While effective, these methods were slow and often failed for viruses or cases that mimic nutrient deficiencies. Then came into light the serological methods. Serological techniques like ELISA, enzyme-linked immunosorbent assay, and Western blotting, lateral flow assays will detect the pathogen through antigen-antibody reactions. These methods are faster and can even be used in the field conditions. For example, ELISA is widely used to detect viruses like tobacco mosaic virus, banana bunchy top virus, and many more. The principle of ELISA is, it is a specific binding of an antigen to its specific corresponding antibody, followed by detection of this complex using this polystyrene plate, using an enzyme which will convert the substrate into a detectable colored product, which will detect the disease. It gives a positive or negative reaction. Similarly, the principle of Western blotting is to detect a specific protein within a complex mixture by first separating the proteins based on the size by gel electrophoresis, then transferring them to a membrane where they are immobilized, and finally using specific antibody probes to identify the target protein that will identify the particular pathogen. After the serological methods, then came into the line molecular tools, which ruled in 2000s until now. So molecular tools like PCR, RT-PCR, qPCR, LAMP are all used to detect pathogens. So molecular diagnostic revolutionized the pathogen detection. PCR and its variants like RT-PCR, qPCR, LAMP, loop-mediated isothermal amplification. This will enable precise identification by amplifying the desired part of the DNA. And this can detect very faster, highly sensitive, and can detect the pathogens that cannot be cultured. So LAMP can be used under field levels just with a minimal implements or equipments. So the principle of the PCR here is it involves using thermostable DNA polymerase and primers to amplify the specific DNA segment through repeated cycles of denaturation, annealing, and extension, which happens in this machine called as thermocycler. After the molecular technique came to the light, next generation sequencing. NGS or next generation sequencing takes diagnostics to a genomic scale. It allows us to sequence entire genome or transcriptomes, giving a complete picture of the organism and its interactions. So there are many applications of NGS. It will allow detection of even unknown or mixed infections. Though it is expensive and data intensive, it offers unmatched accuracy and detail. This technology is now driving research in metagenomics, functional genomics, and RNA sequencing. RNA sequencing has been used in research to discover new viruses in legume, enabling better management strategies. Here is a basic workflow of NGS where you can collect the sample. It can be leaf sample or infected part of any part of the plant. And DNA or RNA extraction can be done based on your application, whatever you want to do, like RNA sequencing, small RNA sequencing, you want to go for the whole genome sequencing. Then the DNA or RNA is extracted from the sample, then library is prepared, and now your sample, DNA or RNA, is being sequenced in any of this platform. It can be Illumina, Nanopore, or PacBio. After sequencing, they will be generated a raw data in FASTQ format that will undergo some quality check and alignment or assembly. Then comes the annotation. So the raw data will be annotated or it will be referred with the sequences in available in the NCBI and it will be annotated. Then comes validation and biological interpretation. So with this, based on your application, which if it is the whole genome sequencing, you will get DNA sequence in your sample. If it is RNA sequencing, you will get the transcriptome data. You can identify new viruses with this technology. There are so many top NGS platforms like Illumina. This is most widely used because of its algorithm and cost effectiveness. Then came the Ion Torrent, PacBio, the Nanopore, Oxford Nanopore sequencing, and BJ. All these are in the market, which offers the NGS sequencing. Then moving on to artificial intelligence in plant disease diagnosis. Artificial intelligence has opened a new era for plant pathogen diagnosis. By simulating human intelligence, AI tools can analyze images of diseased plants and detect infections almost instantly. You can use drones or smartphones, or farmers can now identify the problems on site. And for this, we need a subset of AI, that is machine learning. Machine learning is nothing but a subset of artificial intelligence, which powers this automation by learning from thousands of plant images and patterns. And basically how it works is, for example, the process begins with data collection. The data can be images, it can be soil data or weather patterns. All this data will be cleaned, noise-free, and it has to be labeled. And using the algorithm like convolutional neural networks, that is CNS, the model learns key features like leaf texture or leaf lesion shade to identify the diseases. Once tested, these models are deployed in mobile apps or sensors for real-time field use. In simple words, instead of telling the computer what a disease looks like, we show it thousands of examples, it will learn by itself. Moving on to the various applications of machine learning in plant pathology, first comes the disease diagnosis, which is image-based. So we can use the machine learning models, which can classify the plant diseases from leaf images with impressive accuracy. So the algorithm like convolutional neural networking will automatically detect the color patterns and shades associated with specific infections. So one among such app is the best example is a Plant Village app developed by Penn State University in 2019 using this ML, especially this CNN algorithm. So they have attained a 99% accuracy in disease detection across 38 crops, majorly the staple crops like cassava, wheat, potato, sweet potato. So this is one of the proof that these models can support farmers globally. Such AI apps are now accessible on mobile devices as well. Another best application of ML is disease forecasting and outbreak prediction. Machine learning also helps predict disease outbreaks before they occur. So we can give the data like combining weather, soil, crop data. All these are gathered by the algorithms like random forest or LSTM, which will forecast these diseases which are likely to be spread. One such instance is the CIMMYT. So in Mexico, our International Maize and Wheat Improvement Center used this satellite data to forecast wheat rust, and also in our Indian Agriculture Research Institute are developing early warning systems for rice, especially to detect the rice blast and rice bacterial leaf blight. Another application is pathogen identification from molecular data. So whatever sequencing is being done, all this data can be fed to the machine learning. So machine learning isn't just for images. It also applies to genomic data. By analyzing the DNA sequencing formats, algorithms can identify unknown or mixed infection. For example, Oxford Nanopore platforms along with the machine learning can rapidly detect plant viruses. This accelerates diagnosis, especially during new or emerging outbreaks of the pathogen. Another wonderful application of ML is hyperspectral and drone-based disease detection. These machine learning models also process hyperspectral data collected by drones or satellites. Since each disease reflects light differently, these models learn to recognize special signatures or patterns. This allows large-scale disease mapping across the farms and regions. So there are projects like CIMMYT and NASA. They have collaborated using this ML, demonstrated their approach for diseases like wheat rust and maize leaf blight across Africa. Moving on to the advantages and challenges. While machine learning offers tremendous benefits like speed, scalability, and reduced dependency on lab setups, it does face some challenges. Accuracy can drop in real work, field conditions, and models may struggle with unfamiliar crop varieties. But data availability and bias remains the issue. Yet, continuous improvement and data integration are helping overcoming this barrier, and the future of agriculture is in AI and machine learning. So we can use this machine learning and AI for the future of plant disease diagnosis and make it smart, predictive, and integrated, and reduce the use of pesticides. We are moving from the reactive control to proactive prevention using AI and data analytics. So the fusion of this molecular biology, genomics, and machine learning will make the disease detection faster and more precise. Ultimately, this will support sustainable agriculture and global food security. I would like to end this slide with a quote adapted from Precision Agriculture Principles. In the field of future, the first line of defense won't be pesticides, but it will be the data. Thank you.